Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today I'm going to show you an idea which may be useful for some people if you live in a household with numerous different people. So let's say, for example, now you want to play here on your favourite game, but then somebody else comes in and they want to watch the TV because obviously you live in a house with other people. Well, there's different things you can do. Obviously you can move your Xbox or PlayStation to a different room, to a different TV, and then continue playing, or you might be able to get yourself a second Xbox or PlayStation. But what I'm showing you in this video is basically keeping your Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, whatever you want to connect in the place where you normally have it. So normally you play it here, but then on those occasions when somebody else wants to watch the TV, what you can do is you can take this little portable unit and put it anywhere you want. And because it's a projector, you can actually have a massive screen. So that's what I'm going to be showing you in this video. I'm going to be showing you basically this projector working in different rooms in a house, and I'm going to show you how to set it up yourself. Now, just because I know everybody's going to talk about lag, I just want to show you the difference in lag. It's actually very good. So if you watch this now, you can do a slow motion test, and then you can put down in the comments basically how much lag there is. Okay, but even if you just use your eyes there, you can see, to me personally, I can't see any difference. Now obviously there's already lag on TVs anyway, but this is pretty good considering it's wireless. Well, okay, so I'm just going to show you basically you know, how to set it up, and then I'm going to show you it working on the big screen in other rooms in the house. So obviously you can see it working here and here. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to pop this one to TV. Okay, and there you go. You can see, for example, the X Factor is working up there, but yet we've still got this one down here. Yeah, and that's the whole idea of it. Now, because it's using wireless HDMI, you're limited to the distance. They say on the box here that it will work 100 feet away, but that's going to be, for example, if it was outside with nothing in the way. But in a house, you should, it depends what your house is built off. You know, if you've got thick brick walls and lava and plaster ceilings, then the transmission is going to be a lot less than if, for example, you have stud walls and just plasterboard ceilings, because obviously there's not as much weight there. But let me just show you this this working here to begin with. So basically I've got the PlayStation here, as you can see, and then if I was to go to this HDMI selector down here and go to number 1, in about 10 seconds or so you will see it's actually working on the Nintendo Switch. There we go. Yeah, and again, it feels instant. And then if I want an Xbox, I can go to number 3, and then you will see, again, in about 10 seconds, the Xbox will come up. All the time, the TV is normal up there. So you can see Xbox down here now, TV up there. Hold on, oops, hold on. There you go, so I'm doing this one-handed. Yeah, so you get the idea. So basically, how do you set this up? So let's just take the Switch for example here. Obviously this kind of defeats the purpose of the Switch, because obviously you would just take the Switch out and play it in handheld mode, but you can't do that with the PlayStation or the Xbox. So what would basically happen is you've got your HDMI coming out from your Switch, the Xbox, and also the PlayStation 4. And then you could just put this straight into the wireless HDMI, but the thing is, I also want the option to be able to play it on the TV here. So you've got to then split that signal into 2. So basically it goes in here, and then you need to select which one you want. So for example, we're on input 3 now, which is the Xbox, and if you have a look there, the white one is from the Xbox, and it says input 3. So what it's doing is it's moving this one onto this one. If we were to move it to number 5, it would go from this one through to this one, and then it will start working on the PlayStation 4 up here again when eventually it goes through. Right, okay, so that's that bit then. So now what we need to do is we need to turn the output here into 2, going off in 2 directions. One to the wireless HDMI, which is this grey one here, and then the other one to go to the TV, because then you see it's going to output on both of them, so you can watch it on the TV and this at the same time, and it means you don't have to keep unplugging the leads. And then that grey HDMI cable goes over there, and basically what I've done is, depending on the layout of your house, I've kind of picked a more central location for the HDMI wireless sender. So this is the sender here. So what's happening is this is transmitting 1080p, so it's high definition, full HD, across out from here. And then on my little unit here, you can see that I've got the wireless HDMI receiver here, this black one in the middle here. So basically I've got it plugged into a little projector, and that's what allows me to have it up here. You can see when I go near it goes small, and far away it goes big. Now because these things are expensive, I could only afford a projector that did 480p. Obviously if you had the money you can get a 720p one. I'm not sure if they do 1080p in this small, but you can definitely get 720p. But believe it or not, even 480p, when I show you it working later, especially when you've got it over, for example, a 70 inch, 70 or 80 inches up on the ceiling, honestly it looks pretty good, a lot better than you would think it does look. But if you've got the money to spend, then obviously go for the 720p or above if they have it. Now this one here has a contained battery itself, so you just need to charge it up and then it will last for 2 hours, and it does last for 2 hours. The wireless HDMI does need to be powered, so if you have a look here, I've just got a little power bank down at the bottom here, an Anker power bank. So if you have a look out of the Anker power bank, I've got the USB out feeding the wireless HDMI, and then out of the wireless HDMI receiver I've got HDMI which goes into the portable projector here. And then what I've done is I've just basically cable tied it onto a Nintendo Switch stand, but it's a really good one, and then you see it's that one there, and then what it will do is it will allow me to adjust it in different positions. So the idea is that you can have it up on your ceiling and then it will look good. Now with this one here, it hasn't got a lot of lumens, so as you can see this room's very bright and it's okay, but it's not brilliant. But when you turn the lights off it looks much better. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring this to the bedrooms upstairs to mimic real life. So for example, the family want to watch X Factor here, I can then bring this up to one of the bedrooms and then hopefully I will be able to play it up there. The limiting factor isn't just how far that wireless HDMI signal travels, it's how far the controllers will work. So if you want to do this yourself, a nice simple test is basically bring your controller up to the bedroom that you want to play in, and if it loses sync, there's no point in doing this because the controllers still have to be connected to the Nintendo Switch, PS4 and Xbox wirelessly. So if the wireless range is not working in the room you want it to work, there's no point in spending a load of money on this setup here. Now unfortunately this setup is really expensive. I can't remember exactly what I paid for this portable projector. I think, could be wrong, I think it was £169, but that was quite a while ago I bought that, so the price might have come down. And this is a really expensive one here, the Nereus Aries Pro. So this is basically the wireless HDMI. The reason I got this one is because they advertise it as no latency, and this one, the Pro, does go up to 100 feet apparently. Okay, that was £249, so 250 UK pounds, so seriously expensive. But these things will come down in price, and what I'm thinking is maybe in another like 3, 4 or 5 years a setup like this might well be doable for example, like less than the price of a games console, because at this moment in time it would be cheaper to probably buy a games console than actually do this setup here. But I already had these for other projects, so I thought I'd put them together just as an idea to show you guys some alternatives. So let's bring this up now to a few other rooms and show you it working. Okay, so now we're up on the landing, yeah, and you can see it up there on the wall, and this is on wallpaper as well, and you can still see it does look pretty good. So if you have a look now, I've got my controller here, and well, you won't be able to tell, but you can still see that even though we're travelling further away from it now, it still appears to be pretty instant. Again, you could do a slow motion test and put it down in the comments exactly how many milliseconds it is. Right, let's do a bit of Mantis Burn racing. Right, so to me it feels completely playable. Now this one is harder because it's on wallpaper, so I do find that the flowers on the wallpaper are quite distracting. But when I go into the other rooms, what I'll do is I'll put one on the ceiling. See, right now I find it hard to see, but I'll put one on the ceiling, and that's a white ceiling, so that should be perfect. And also what I'll do is I'll do one on a white wardrobe as well. Okay, so that's the PlayStation 4. Right, okay, let's do the Xbox now and put that onto the ceiling. Right, okay, so you can see the beast there on the floor. This is the controller here, and if I pan up to the ceiling, you will then see it working on the ceiling up here. Okay, right, let's do a little bit of Forza Horizon 3. So there you go, there's the Xbox menu. Now obviously this would only really work if you were lying on the bed, otherwise you're just going to get a sore neck very quickly. But the good thing is, even if you didn't have much wall space, you would be able to then go up onto the ceiling. And most people's ceilings are painted white, and most people have quite a big ceiling. So even in a small room, hopefully you will still be able to get the equivalent of maybe a 50-inch screen up there. In this instance here, I think this is measuring in at about 70 something inches. And I would no way have that room on any of the walls. So although it's only 480p, I mean, yes, it isn't crystal sharp, crystal clear and sharp, but it's okay. See? Right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the back bedroom, so this is the front bedroom, and I'm then going to put it onto the wardrobes, because it's white wardrobe, so the screen will be a lot smaller, but then you won't have to be looking up at the ceiling. Okay, but if you look at it there, it looks nice. Right, okay, let's bring it into the back bedroom. Okay, so here you can see the Nintendo Switch, so it's there. I'm using the Pro Controller. Now I'm using the Pro Controller for a very good reason, and that's because in my house the Pro Controller has a much better range than the Joy-Cons. If I was using the Joy-Cons now, one of them, I can't remember which one, I think it's the left one, would normally lose sync as soon as I get up to the upstairs bedrooms, but this Pro Controller appears to hold sync okay. So again, you can see it there, and the great thing about this projector is that the colours look really nice on it. So it's on a wardrobe there, so obviously there's a big line down the middle of it, but the colours just look beautiful. And like anything with projectors, the nearer you are, the smaller it is, and the further away, the bigger it gets. So if you want a bigger screen, it's not a problem. Smaller screen, not a problem. So the when it's smaller, it's the resolution looks better, because obviously it's 480p, so it's going to look better when it's smaller than when it's bigger. But yeah, here we go. So again, you can see the controller's working fine, and if you were to, how am I going to do the lag on this? Let me go in between. I don't know if you can, you're not going to be able to see it. But you just have to trust me that it feels okay. So even now that we're getting quite a distance away, it still feels good. Right, let's just do a little bit of Mario Kart. Right, so there we go. As you can see, it works perfectly. And again, even though it's wireless, to me it appears perfect. It feels like the switch is plugged into here. So although that adapter is very expensive, it does do as it claims, apart from the distance. You know, in your house you're never going to get 30 meters. I'm pretty confident of that. So there we go, that is it. Tell me what you think. Do you think it's a good idea or a silly idea? Is it something that if the price was to drop to maybe about £150, £200 that you would consider doing? Or is it just better to move your PlayStation, Xbox to a different part of the house? Just an idea, and I thought you might like to see it. So if you like this video, I'd appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up, and please subscribe for more how-to videos. Take care, bye now.